Hello and welcome to Esports Stadium Arlington. It is day number 8. It is our final group coming at you. Group H. We're here at the U.S. Army Esports. The U.S. Army presents Reload Collegiate CSGO Invitational. I'm Corey Dunn. I'm joined here with Jonathan O. Man, we've already gone through a full week of Counter-Strike, and it now brings us into our final day of group play, and we'll find out who the last two teams will be joining us in the playoff bracket. John, how's it been for you so far?
Well, may the 4th be with you, Corey, as we are here in our last day, as you mentioned, of our open bracket, our closed bracket play of these 28 teams. Tomorrow being May 5th, and Corey, we've always alluded to that day being the day that the playoffs begin, and we can finally, instead of telling teams that be ready for May 5th, we can start saying be ready for tomorrow, as we have finally made it to this point. We have 8 days now to this broadcast, 46 maps that we've seen so far. So that's a lot of airtime we've seen, and we've got some pretty good teams coming up today.
Yeah, we've learned a lot about the teams that have made it into the double elimination bracket, and we have our last 4 teams that we're going to learn a little bit more about today. Let's go and take a look, for those that are just tuning in for the very first time of what we're doing, why we've been doing it. So here's your format and your prize pool. We started off with 28 collegiate teams from the central and eastern region, divided into 8 different groups. We've narrowed those down now to 18. We've lost 10 teams along the way. That, of course, was 8 days of group play. We're on our 8th day and ending today, which, of course, is May 4th. Out of each one of those groups, 2 teams had advanced into the playoffs, which, of course, our playoffs are made up of a 16-team playoff bracket. It's a double elimination bracket. On the upside, you've got the prize pool. You've got $3,000 for first. Second place is $1,500, and third is $500. All matches broadcasted on twitch.tv/esportsstadium. Let's take a look, though, at where we are in the schedule. Of course, we talked about it, the way the groups are playing. So from April 27th, the day after where we originally wanted to be hosting this event, whenever we should have been crowning the champions, right on the stage behind us. That started, of course, April 27th, all the way up until today, May 4th, of group play. Playoffs, of course, consist starting tomorrow, May 5th, all the way to May 10th, and the finals being on May 10th. We do have an exhibition match. Of course, this wouldn't be possible without the U.S. Army. They'll be having their U.S. Army esports team, their CSGO team, will be playing against the third-place team of our tournament. And if you want to follow all the action, make sure you head over to brackets.esportsstadium.gg. And so that kind of wraps up your 2-week schedule. Now, what are we looking forward to tomorrow? Here's your upper bracket. We're trying to find the last 2 teams. We'll start from the very top. You've got RMU, which was the first place team from Group A, will be playing against the second place team out of this group, Group H. Then we've got UConn versus MTU, which will follow up after that. You've got VCU and Drexel, Kennesaw and Purdue, Rochester and University of Alabama Huntsville. And then on the flip side, you've got Northeastern versus Pitt, UCF versus Miami University of Ohio. And then St. Clair College is in the waiting, finding out who is going to be the first place team to make it out of this bracket, out of Group H. So we'll just go and deep dive a little bit further into Group H. You've got for UTD and FGCU, so that's the University of Texas at Dallas, and Florida Gulf Coast University will be starting off our day at noon. UTD, we actually saw their JV team about a couple days ago, and saw how well they played. Of course, they had some fun. They made it there to the lower bracket finals, and then losing there in the end. You kind of question, well, there's almost a point where UTD JV was going to move and be the second place team for a moment, but then UTD JV was eliminated at that point. UTD themselves, the A team, will be playing today, though, and they're coming at the top seed out of this group. On the bottom side of the bracket, or of the upper bracket round 1, you've got Kansas State playing against University of Texas at Arlington. When we talked about it multiple times, Arlington, we're here at Esports Stadium Arlington. We're just blocks away from UTA. So we'll see how well that team plays. Of course, they boot camp here at our facility, and we open the doors to any team that wants to boot camp at our facility. So then on the whichever team wins both of those will then advance into upper bracket round 2, where we'll have another best of 1. And then down below, our loser round 1 will be the losers of the first 2 matches, and then the second round of the lower round is the winner of loser round 1 match, and then the loser of upper round 2. They'll face off in the final best of 3 today. So we got a lot of matches that are possible today, upwards between 6 to 8 maps that we could see today. So we'll kind of stand by and see what's possible here. But John, looking at the bracket, I know that we don't have necessarily a full insight about the teams as of yet. But what's kind of your first glance at it?
Well, we know that UTD is the number 6 seed going against FGCU is the number 25 seed. And I don't believe we've ever seen the first seed in a bracket not make it all the way through on the upper bracket side. So if history's told us anything in this bracket, we should see UTD making their way through. And similarly on the bottom side, we have only seen, I believe, one time the lower seed defeating the second seed in the bracket.
And that
was
yesterday.
Pittsburgh.
Well, I think we saw something happen yesterday, but I'll take a look at it. But you might be correct on that.
MTU was a higher seed than that of UNT.
Okay, there you go.
So they were the ones who moved through, and I think the only other time we saw that, to my knowledge, was during the match versus Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech. I'll have to go back and look to make sure the seedings, but as it shakes out, that's how it looks like it might be, as it's a pretty big discrepancy. We see 6 versus 25 with UTD and FGCU, and then we see 9 versus 24. Obviously, like you said, we haven't seen these players play. There's obviously a lot more on the line than what they're normally comfortable with that $3,000 for first place, as you mentioned, as well as it's, for some of them, this might be their first match of the day, have some time to warm up. There might be some nerves. So I really think anything can happen, and we'll just have to see how these teams play out.
Yeah, with a lot of matches happening today, too, the only difference from today versus yesterday is teams will actually get at least an hour break going into their next matchup. So that's a positive, because yesterday we saw one particular team play every single bit of the day, and that was MTU. We saw them play throughout these series of things too, so that was pretty interesting to see as well. So, that's what we'll be looking forward to seeing here in this matchups, and seeing how well these teams play, and then of course we'll learn a lot more about them and their play styles. All right, so John, before we've got a lot of Counter-Strike ahead of us. So we've been doing this for a week straight now. And, of course, it's been our goal this whole time is we want to have these teams kind of play out and get into our double elimination playoff bracket. But more importantly, we want to see these teams in the fall playing on the stage right behind us as well. So we want them to have that same type of experience, what it's like to be able to play up on the main stage, play on the same stage as Australis and MIBR and just some top-notch. More in particular, we've seen a lot of top-notch North American teams, but we've seen a lot of top teams all over the world that have played up on our main stage. So Device, Dupree, you know those guys? Yeah, they played up on our stage before too. All right, so even Stewie 2K has played up on our stage. We've had several different types of players that have played up on our stage. The only team that we haven't, we talked about this briefly, is Na'Vi. So we haven't seen Simple up on our stage, which I would love to see Simple. It's been a while since I've seen him.
Are we using the same headsets that some of those commentators, Henry G, Sadokist, have used? Moses,
yeah,
who was
that's
here?
actually, those are also really good call-outs as well. So, yeah, Sadokist and Henry G, James, Bardoff, and DDK, and, yeah.
We haven't seen Anders here, have we?
We have not seen Anders here, but Anders is a very close friend. The very first time I ever saw Anders is one of our leads for our partnership side. But Anders, I saw him. I haven't seen him in a long time. Last time I seen him was in DreamHack in Sweden. But before that, oh no, I take that back. I saw him during E-League. So he was casting E-League, Boston Major. So absolutely saw him then. But the very first time I ever met Anders was actually at Copenhagen Games. I was doing play-by-play commentary with Pansy. Pansy was my co-caster. We had 2 others as well. So it was really, really cool to kind of get. Oh, Machine. That was the first time I actually did play-by-play with Machine as well. And there's another player. His name was War Clown. So there's a lot of old players back then. But yeah, that was young Pansy. That was before she turned into ESL Pansy for a while.
And now you're here with me, Corey.
Yeah, it's all downhill, real fast. Thank you for setting that one up. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, we're looking forward to our very first matchup. John is super excited about this one, as he said yesterday. He's a UTD alum, and he's also a part of the fighting game community, so FGCU will be facing off in map number 1 of the day. So stay with us. We've got more Counter-Strike coming at you after this. All right, we're here back at the Esports Stadium Arlington. Make sure you visit GoArmy.com and learn about 150 different career opportunities available now. Esports and the U.S. Army working together to make things better. John, we're now heading into our very first match of the day. We've got UTD and FGCU. They'll be facing off here in just a moment. But first things first, let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule and what we have for us in store today. So starting off, as I mentioned, UTD versus FGCU. That's starting right now. We'll be getting into that matchup here in just a moment. Then after that, we've got our second matchup of the day. That's Kansas State versus UTA. That's at 1 p.m. Following after that is our the first time we'll find out who's going to be advancing into the playoffs, and that will be at 2 p.m. Then the lower bracket round matches will start to come into play. So we've got best of threes starting at 3 p.m., and that will be the first time that we'll see a team go home. And then for the final matchup of the day is our best of three, where we'll find out who is going to advance into the playoffs. And so that's how all of the schedule is going to work out here. And then we'll kind of take a look at what we've got coming your way here in a bit. And so some of the things that we'll be looking at for right now, so we'll get introduced to UTD, we'll then get introduced to FGCU, but already kind of a huge shout out as well. So Adolfo from the UTD team, who's been working very closely with the NACCS, has been extremely helpful in helping us coordinate this event and get things together. And then, of course, we'll also see him in the server as well for the first time. So we'll get to check out how well he plays. I played a couple of games of Valorant with him before. He's pretty darn good at Valorant as well. So we'll see how well he can actually play with this team and see how well they are able to play in this tournament. Also, continuing those shout outs as well. So NACCS. Appreciate you guys. So we've had Opportunist and Strawberry and the rest of the team that have been very, very helpful for us to make this all possible as well. Of course, we've been leveraging the Faceit platform. We've got two different hubs that we're running directly from our Esports Stadium Arlington organizer page. That is making things possible where we can have 128 tick servers. We can have the anti-cheat and the full validation process for that too. So those are all the positives, and of course the U.S. Army Esports, U.S. Army in particular, has made this all possible even furthermore. We can basically create a little bit more grandiose broadcast for everyone that's at home.
And NVIDIA. Don't forget NVIDIA.
Yeah, and NVIDIA, that's right. So, I mean, NVIDIA's been with us from day one, which has been awesome. I mean, that's why we always continue to add the flair and make sure that it's basically at NVIDIA standards. I still remember it was really awesome for me back then. It's because one of the very first events that I've really ever did was in NVIDIA GeForce LAN. That was back, goodness, forever ago. But yeah, NVIDIA GeForce LAN 2.0, I think was what the one I did, and we were actually doing play-by-play for, I think that was Battlefield 2. Yeah, Battlefield 2. The very first time that game was, and I actually sat at the desk with executive producers and everything. And that was actually really the very first time we started doing live video streaming as well, was back whenever with that whole series. So NVIDIA has been around, and it's been in my DNA for a long time. Every machine, every graphics card that I've ever had has been an NVIDIA graphics card. I had never really made the switch to an ATI or an AMD chipset. So
you can't really go wrong. I'm in the same boat just based on performance alone. So I don't have quite the story or history that you do, but I agree, and I've always used NVIDIA.
Yep, that's just been the way it is. That's just a personal choice.
I started with a 560 in around, I think, 2011 is when I built my first computer, and it was a 560. Then I jumped from a 560 to a 960, and now I'm sitting on a, I don't even remember. The numbers just keep getting bigger.
Yeah,
it's probably like an 1160.
1160, okay.
It was one of the ones I got from here, actually, whatever those were.
The 1080 Ti's, they are.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. All right, so as we try to go to PC Part Picker and try to start building our PCs, but here, let's go ahead and take a look at the rosters for our first matchup. Here is UTD on the far left side. You've got Adolfo. He's joined with Alloy. You also have Asas, YKZ, and Sir Trix. Kind of looking at this team, kind of talk a little bit about their history a little bit further. So Adolfo's a junior. Alloy is actually a graduate. So one of the things is, if you've graduated pretty recently, we allow you to also still be a part of this tournament. You don't want to miss out like that. That'd be the worst. It's like, oh man, I missed out on something. But of course, it's not. I graduated from UNT. I can't play in this tournament. So those are the kind of caveats. So then for Asas, he's a junior, as well as YKZ, and Sir Trix is actually a sophomore coming in them. UX design, I mean, this all makes sense for me, as a lot of these players are computer science and UX design and mechanical engineering. I'll probably have to talk to Sir Trix because I did a lot of UX design.
So as we look at these pictures, we saw from UNT yesterday a lot of them using their orientation pictures.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, on the side of UTD JV, we saw the green background where they had to take the student ID picture. We don't actually see any of that here. So these guys, they've decided, you know what? I'm going to take my own picture. I'm going Rambo on this one. But
none of them are freshmen, which is good. So that's, more than likely you'd see something like that. Or, it's also, you can transfer to you.
I came in as a junior, and that's where my picture came from. But something that I wanted to bring up about this match in the meantime is you mentioned a little bit about the first place and second place seeding to make sure, that some teams might want to get the lower bracket run, or start, excuse me, not the lower bracket run, but start from like a lower seed out of their bracket. The first place seed of this one will face up against St. Clair, and the second place seed of this bracket will go against RMU. So I think in this case, you're absolutely looking to win this bracket, as RMU is the top seed of this entire tournament. And as we look at the top seed UT Dallas here on our screens, let's go ahead and check out FGCU.
Yeah, flipping on the other side, of course, right there in the middle of your screen from UTD was ASOS. Then we've got, this is where I'll have to ask these players their names directly. So you got Fire, you got Greatness, Parker, Terror, and WAD, or WAD, coming into this one for Florida Gulf Coast University.
How did you get Fire from that?
Well, how would you pronounce it?
I wasn't going to try.
Again, that's just years of what my interpretations of. I remember I used to do a lot of commentary for
we know
European teams and Brazilian teams, and so you just change it based off of whatever I think it is, and that's what I got out of it. So, but I will definitely ask what those are as well for those names. The rest of them are pretty easy, except for maybe it's WAD or WAD, and I'll ask those players for those too. Usually what I do is before the matches start, I actually talk with the teams. The teams were just not in Discord at that point in time, so I'll talk with them here shortly enough. With that said, that does bring us to our map pick bands, and kind of looking at what is coming to fruition. UTD, of course, having the higher seed. They've got Mirage that they've banned, and Vertigo. We'll talk about the end where we end up on Overpass. Might as well. But you look over for FGCU. They banned Nuke, they banned Train, and they banned Inferno. So I bet you what we probably would have saw, we probably would have seen FGCU ban Vertigo if UTD did not. UTD actually banning Mirage is interesting, so we'll take that as a note. And then we also see them choosing between Dust 2 and Overpass being the final choice here in the series.
Which is not surprising to me, as we've mentioned. In that situation, I think they absolutely banned Dust 2, just because we've talked about that being the pug map, so to speak, or the map that's very easily swung based on certain strategies. So I'm surprised we actually didn't see that one go sooner, as UTD decides to ban Mirage and Vertigo before that of Dust 2. So Overpass going to make its way onto the server once again, and that marks number 13, overpassing Mirage as the most played map on our tournament so far. So Corey, I think we've seen every strategy absolutely possible on Overpass. We've seen boosts in the restrooms over that little window. We've seen boosts in A long. We've seen boosts at B site. I mean, we even saw ridiculous 4K Deagle headshots only from Rascal yesterday, and we've seen crazy wall bangs with the AWP in the hands of Austin. We've seen multiple aces on Overpass, and really at this point it just comes down to we've got nothing else to see, so it's just these teams needing to prove themselves against one another.
Yeah, we've seen a variety of different styles of play throughout this tournament, from very methodical, by the book, very patient, then a full execute together, We've seen the flip side of that where we've had one major entry fragger just push in and just be hyper aggressive. We've seen others that are on the flip side where they're big time lurkers and they're just waiting. They're waiting for flanks. They're just, they're basically paying attention to their backside. You've seen just a variety of it. And then, of course, we've also seen some teams that said, you know what, we'll play this as more of a default, more of a pug style, where they ended up just making some really ridiculous shots and just relied on that during group play, so that way when they get into the double elimination bracket, we'll start to see them adjust their play style a little bit further.
Exactly that. So as we look at Overpass, Corey, I've got one, I guess, off the topic question for you. Why do you think is that we're seeing Overpass being our top played? I think when we went into this initially on the first day, we were talking about a little bit of Mirage and even perhaps Inferno, as those are like the cookie cutter maps. I didn't think that Overpass would make it this many times onto the server. So, what do you have any insight as do you think why that is?
I don't. I can't think of a real reason of why you'd want to continue to play a map like Overpass. It could lend itself. It lends itself well for really good rotates. It's got your longs as well that you can op with. So it's got all the different variables of things that you want. The retakes you can feel pretty comfortable with. You can see the flank that happens. So I mean, it can kind of fit. It does have some unique verticality that comes with it, but I will say that it does have easier rotates. It has some similarities to like a Dust 2 that you can kind of paint the picture of with those quick rotates. You have different variations. The only thing that you don't really have, you've got a unique mid, right? Mid is different on Dust 2 than it is on Mirage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you'd see Overpass over a lot of the other maps over and over and over again. Of course, we also seen a lot of Mirage, so it's not as if we only seen Overpass. So there is a combination between those two, and Mirage makes sense to me why you'd see that more often, as we talked about as well. So yeah, I think Overpass might fit into that. It just has some unique looking aspects to it, but if you really look at it from a grander scale, pulling back a little bit further, you start to notice that it's very similar to a lot of the other maps.
And as I look at it here, so it sits at 13, Mirage sits at 12, and then second behind that is 6 on Inferno.
Yeah, Inferno is another one of those ones where you probably expected to see a lot more of. But I would say Inferno plays different, right? Inferno is one of those maps that you see set smokes, set flashes, set mollies more importantly. So you'll see them kind of delay rounds. There's a lot of times where rounds won't even start until they're about 30 seconds in, or with 30 seconds left on the round timer. So we'll see that. But yeah, it's really interesting to see the fact that we have seen a lot of Overpass, a lot more than I would have expected beforehand. The reason, but best of ones are unique beasts, right? It allows the higher seed to kind of make their choice between two maps. And it's just some of these teams probably just feel more comfortable based off of the two maps that are remaining. That's why we've seen the flip of the coin between certain maps. Where if Overpass is there, it's like, well, I don't want to play Vertigo. I'm going to play Overpass instead, or I don't want to play Train because whatever. So that might be another factor that's coming into play. Because best of threes, we're not necessarily seeing Overpass until some of the final maps. We did see it yesterday. I think Overpass was the first map that we'd seen out of a best of three, if I remember correctly, but or an earlier map. So there's definitely some shifts that happen there too.
Yeah, you are correct. It was the first map, the best of three. And the last map, I believe, was Dust 2, which we didn't see as it was a 2. No, wait a second. It wasn't a 2-0 yesterday. It was we went the whole distance. We went to Overpass, Mirage, and Nuke, and that was UNT versus MTU.
Yep. Yeah, we ended up on Nuke, where that was the one that we found was pretty interesting. The fact that UNT even allowed Nuke to get all the way there. So we're just waiting for the players to get into the server before we kick things off. Again, you've got UTD and FGCU. We're wrapping up this tournament to get to our double elimination playoff bracket with our 16 teams. I'm really excited about seeing these matches that coming up tomorrow because I think they're going to be high caliber matches. More importantly, I mean, of course, as you get deeper into a bracket, the matches are going to become more intense throughout the day. So I'll be excited about those. But yeah, I've been looking forward to seeing some of these top tier teams kind of compete in this tournament, and so far we've seen some good matches. I'm really excited about seeing some great matches coming up once we get the double elimination bracket. But here we are. We've seen it time and time again. This is Overpass. So Overpass is looks like we're going to see FGCU will be starting off on the counter-terrorist side. and UTD on the T side as we break for our pistol round and begin this game. All right, John, let's see what happens right out of the gates. UTD setting themselves up for the A side. They quickly get onto the other side of Monster, but look out. Connector is full of a lot of players here. Now let's see what they can do here as they're set up, starting to creep their way through Monster. They're not challenged, so you're probably going to expect a really solid retake, or at least an attempt at a retake from FGCU, as now they know. Here comes the Connector through sandbag push, and they're going to be wrapping around. Oh, my goodness, just like that. You've got 2 players that are already down and out here in this round 3, and they are just getting picked apart by FGCU. And Alloy, which is the last man standing, he's already up on top of Heaven. And that's going to basically do the round. They're going to go ahead and get the defuse here. And so FGCU only losing 1 player in this round as they pick up the pistol.
Yeah, I think that actually, you know, we talked about overpass. We've seen it all. And I think we just saw something first time there is the team ace comes out for FGCU.
Yeah, we talked about not seeing that yet. We also haven't seen an overtime yet.
We have not. That one still is eluding us. But there you go. The scoreboard's looking like Morse code with a bunch of 1s and 0s. As FGCU takes the pistol. So now we see Tech-9's Deagles coming out on the side of UTD. Let's see if UTD can have that same success. Ooh, looks like someone got hit in the back with either a teammate's knife or a grenade came out somewhere. I suspect perhaps a grenade, but we'll have to find out as now we see YKZ with his pistol, not able to find the damage, or excuse me, to find the kill. He finds the damage. Ooh, that's a nice pickup from Alloy. The MP9 showing to be too strong for the side of UTD, though, as they're down to 1 player in ASOS. He's got an M4. Now he's got the bomb. With this M4, he can actually do a fair bit of damage. Doesn't have any armor, whereas opponents do have armor and helmets. So he's going to have to find essentially instant headshots. These MP9s from this distance, though, he's actually favored. Still with no armor, though, so it might be difficult. He finds 1, and that's another MP9. The M4 is actually coming from Connector, and it seems like he's expecting it here. He still has the bomb, and if you're FGCU, you need to work together. Make sure you're not finding these one-off situations where you're allowing him to find 3 multiple 1v1s, and he finds the opening kill here. That could have been it, but we see WAD or WAD there finding the last kill, closing it out, and getting the second on the board for FGCU. So great start from them. As we mentioned, they are the lower seed going into this match, being number 25 here in our bracket, and UTD being number 6.
Yeah, that was a close one for UTD, though. I mean, getting it to that point, there was potential for ASOS to win that one. He basically set himself up for a couple 1v1 battles, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the default setup coming here for UTD. We've got Alloy, who's set up over here with Monster with ASOS. Inside of the Connector is actually going to be YKZ. And then you've got Adolfo joined with his teammate. That's Sir Trix. They're in Playground. So already, though, Alloy had lost his bout with greatness. And we'll see if ASOS can find an opening here. But he's got 3 players to worry about that are in here inside of the B-bomb site. Yeah, one of the things I'm seeing right now is right around the... Oh, ASOS finds himself 1. They're going to be pushing in. There's his second. Oh, that's a clean shot on the 3rd. And now it's left up to these last 2. Oh, my goodness. ASOS has cleared out the B-bomb site by himself. And now it's left up to fire.
Seems like he's a little upset. He didn't get the rounds number 2 on the board, so he's taken round number 3 for his team behind 4 kills in himself. And as you saw, the shot he found in the WAD was instant as he wanted to redeem himself from the previous round. So if that's what we can expect to see from these UTD players, I think this might be a quick match. But FGCU is now on those Deagles. We've seen just tremendous damage throughout those guns this entire tournament, as we see the AKs and utility and armor sets being fully completed here for UTD as they spread themselves out a little bit. We see 1 player towards Connector, and that's YKZ. He's going to meet Parker here, as Parker is trapped behind this Molotov for the time being. Now he sees it depleting. And Corey, if ASOS is about the same caliber as everyone else's, Alloy gets a pick there on WAD again. He sees 1. He's able to find him there. That's going to open up the B bomb site. The bomb is down, so now we're going to see that player out of Connector go grab that. Excuse me, it's going to be the player out of A. So we see YKZ is pushing towards. He might find a player here, and Sir Trix finds one, but is follow along. That's going to conclude the round now. So UTD putting the second on the board after being down 2-0. Money in the favor of FGCU is a little disorganized. It seems like some players had purchased some guns last round that either didn't need to or so forth, but regardless, they are now sitting with pistols once again. So UTD starting to build up the bank for themselves now. As they make their way quickly through Monster, there is no one to meet them there. You see only one smoke and one flashbang being, actually a few pieces of utility used there as they try to make a connector push together as a team as FGCU. They're going to find nothing. And now they're pushing out. The Terror is going to be taken down, and that turns into a 4v5 with only Deagles for the side of FGCU. So at this point, it already looks like they're just looking for exits as ASOS is going hunting. He doesn't want to leave anything else in the round. As Power's gone down now, and they're running away in connector as it's Wad and Faya left in the server. That's a nice find there.
Let's see if they can get any weapons away, but it actually looks like they were starting to run away here. Yeah, he spotted one. That's Adolfo right above, and goes straight into the CZ. But UTD picking up the round. I'm going to ask my staff as well while we're trying to find this out. So just a brief little Google search that I did is who we're currently calling fire. Is actually, I think that's a Malaysian singer or a musician. So I'm going to have my team try to find that to be able to tell me how they pronounce it, and we'll pronounce it based off of that too. But for the time being, we fire it, and ASOS loves the B-bomb site, but finally gets taken down by Wad.
Now we see how they're going to have to open the B-bomb site without someone walking in and getting a 4K. Just saw that previously. He's going to spot the head of one is Wad, or W-A-D. Which one are we going to commit to there?
Let's go with Wad, because it is all lowercase.
Ooh, that's a nice pickup there from Parker. Yeah. All right, so UTD also very close to utility, so we can make a shout out to them. Hopefully we don't see continuous amounts of utility like that, but
It's early.
It is early, and we did see a lot of grenades bouncing off walls yesterday, so make sure people are rubbing their eyes and making sure they're checking their corners. But as we say that, we're continuing on in round number 6. UTD is making their way towards that A bomb site through restrooms. We're seeing now they're lining up the utility. Sir Trix with smoke in hand. Parker is with that AWP, so we'll keep an eye on him as we continue on to this A bomb site. He is playing from the site as they poke forward now, and he takes down one. He's being pushed off site. He's moving towards truck. He's able to find a pick. Nice rotation. Oh, he almost finds the third. He misses the shot, but it's now left to Sir Trix. Not able to find the repeat as Sir Trix is trying to get the bomb down, and oh my goodness, what a shot on the fire. He's now getting the bomb down as he's seeing one player trickle onto the site, and they're able to get him, but the bomb does not get planted. The money's still favorable on the side of UTD. They're able to purchase guns for at least this round, as that lets FGCU back on the board as they were able to save some weaponry there.
We'll see what happens in this one. Again, ASOS has been winning a lot of the gunfights in the B-bomb site. He didn't win the last one just now. As the first gun round that we see coming in for FGCU comes in round number 6. So ASOS waiting just to make sure they're holding this area on lock. I believe that's with YKZ, who's on the other side. Actually, it was Adolfo who's on the other in connector. And Parker is joining up his teammate, but he's very loud with those clicks of the scope. So we'll see. They've got the setup. They're waiting. This is a default coming in for UTD. They drop the bomb back over near T-spawn, near ladder. So Sir Trix is pretty close, and then now they're going to go ahead and fall back. And so now they've cleared out this area. And so they're going to basically backtrack a little bit further, as now they've spotted one. That's Sir Trix, who's also saw Parker as well, as Parker was just trying to check towards long. Fired just on the other corner, and there it is. Sir Trix was ready for it. Had a nice little shot set up. And he peeks a little wider there, and there's going to be Wad. Wad also going to get eliminated. And, oh goodness, Sir Trix. He's leveraging his teammate there in that sense, and now it's left up to Greatness and Terror as they head here towards the A bomb site.
2v4 retake now, as there's only one kid in the hands of Greatness. They actually are starting to make their way off the site as they're calling for the save. Greatness already finding, or excuse me, Terror finding himself on that B bomb site now, joined by Greatness as they pull out their knives and run as fast as they can in the opposite direction. That's going to be round number 4 on the board for UTD. A solid default for them, and all it was is 3 kills starting it from Sir Trix, and that opens up the A bomb site. So as we saw, Corey, we saw impressive shots coming out from ASOS, and now we're seeing some pretty solid shots coming out from Sir Trix. UTD starting to warm up a little bit here into this map pick. We could say in some sense this was UTD's map pick as they banned Dust 2 to ultimately get onto Overpass. So now 4-3, we see pistols for some players on the side of FGCU, and M4s on the hands of the 2 that were able to save. As we're seeing another fast B hit come here for UTD, and there's no Molotov to slow them down, not even a smoke, as ASOS has made his way onto the site. He's going to be met by Wad, and there he goes. Immediately falling off to the site now. It's Faya, but he's going to be... Oh, he's going to find the pick, and Greatness actually picking one up on Alloy. And oh my goodness, this round has completely unfolded for UTD as they find all 5 players. Parker, the last one alive. He's going to pick himself up an AK, and that is the defuse coming in. So 4-4.
All right. So UTD has a really good retake on the B bomb site, is what we've seen so far too.
Retake?
Yeah. You take back over a bomb site?
UTD?
Sorry, FGCU.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I was wondering what you're...
Yeah, maybe I should have been more
clear.
clear
Use the term
with that.
retake. And
apologies.
Yeah. Sorry, FGCU has a really good retake against UTD.
There we go.
Now we're on the same page. Oh, Terror, though, while he's blind, has picked up 2, but ASOS is going to be there and getting a 2K as well. So now you're going to see the rotate happen here. There will be a long flank coming in that we'll pay attention to. But they're going to be challenged over by Graffiti right now. And that's going to be ASOS. And that flashbang is in a tough spot, and he just catches the lip of the door. And now Parker in a 1-on-3. And now they know exactly where he's at. And you're going to see Alloy decide to shoulder peek. Oh, just barely catches him. But look out, there is that long lurk that I mentioned. And Sir Trix may be hearing him run around like this. And why would you expect this? You wouldn't. And so UTD picking up their 5th round now.
They're playing with absolute confidence, too. I mean, they're just running in, and even though they got 2 picks off the beginning through Terror on the side of FGCU, they went fully confident behind that and able to take the site essentially for free as they were opened up once again as ASOS and Sir Trix leading the charge for their team as ASOS is finding himself on 13 frags here in round number 10. Having a great game for himself and is having... We're seeing very clean shots as pistol rounds coming out. Again for FGCU, we see Parker trying to poke up towards Connector. Sir Trix actually got taken down to 15 HP by Greatness. As Adolfo trying to rejoin his team there and realizes there's one in Connector is now taken out as we see the last 3 players on FGCU split up. We see 1 player towards that B bomb site and the 2 others playing towards restrooms. As UTD starts to make their way with the bomb towards the B bomb site.
Yeah, ASOS has got very deep here, so they've got that intel. And now they can feel very confident that the B bomb site is completely clear. So CZ and a P250 as the bomb is planted in B. There, oh, Sir Trix getting taken out. See if they can able to find a weapon here. And that's a lot of gunfire coming from UTD. 6-4 now.
Something to note here, they had the opportunity in the round number 9 to pick up an AWP. They decide not to and only stick with these AKs. And I frankly, based on how they're playing, I agree with that. Simply because they're playing very fast. Something that you've always been talking about. Like you like teams seeing them hit sites. Hit them hard and hit them quickly, and that's what UTD is doing here. They don't want to be slowed down by an AWP.
Yeah, whenever you hit a bomb site and you hit it hard, really what I'm trying to get to is you're going into the bomb site with confidence. And that's what a lot of times when you see teams that are timid or trying to push out, they don't do that. So here's a lot of action happening up inside of mid as Adolfo has dropped to, and it just all of it happens there near playground, or sorry, near party, and maybe we might be able to capture that on a replay. But yeah, there's a lot of action that happened up there in that segment there.
It sounds like exactly what the call out was. There was a party up there, and that was round number 11 in the books, and round number 7 for UTD here. 7-4, as their money is once again a very comfortable position. But now we're seeing the guns coming out for FGCU. Once again, the AWP in the hands of Parker. And oh my, we're seeing a very fast restrooms push here from Sir Trix and Adolfo. They're actually even pushing so far onto the site that they're going to find that it's completely open. They don't have the bomb site, and Alloy's gone down. We see now it's YKZ running back for the bomb, and there's still no one on that bomb site. So they've taken it so far that they're actually looking to flank to go back to that B bomb site, as we see through Monsters where the bomb's heading. They are not going to expect this. So Sir Trix able to find one. He's going to find two.
Oh,
he's
man.
going to pull the trigger. Boom. And there he goes.
That's just like playing an aim map or getting ready against bots.
Oh, on the flip side, the bomb does go down. And in the meantime, Adolfo found the other two players that were holding towards A long. So just a hit squad coming out here for the side of UTD. But Terror is still alive in this round. He's got 12 HP to his name, and it's left to Adolfo to find his third frag of the game. Excuse me, of this round. He sees him, and so far they're going back and forth. Adolfo playing a song and dance with him, but able to find the headshot and get the 3K. That's going to be round number 8 on the board for UTD. That round was a lot harder than I should have been. It came down to a 1v1 where they had the bomb site. Keep in mind, had they just ran in there with the bomb, they could have planted, and that would have been a much different circumstance. But Adolfo finding 2 towards A long, and then we saw Sir Trix finding those 2 picks from when they flanked on the B site, and then Terror kept it close with his picks onto the bomb and the rest of the players there. But now we see them going once again quickly onto this B site. Adolfo taking down 1, taking down 2. Was able to at least find 1 before he is taken down, and we see the other players going towards sandbags. One behind them, didn't expect it, and ASOS should clean this up, and there it goes. So round number 9 on the board for UTD. As soon as it started, it concludes. And pistol rounds not working out for the side of FGCU, despite the history we've seen in this tournament, Corey. Now we're seeing the AWP in the hands of Parker. I bet you someone is going to stay on that A site this time.
Let's see. 9-4 scoreline here for UTD. As now they're going to push out aggressively again here towards the B bomb site. They're on fire, and now here comes the damage. And Alloy has picked himself up 2. Oh, but look out for Terror. Terror's playing pretty well. Although it says he's 7-10, I guess he's been playing well here in these latter rounds as YKZ has made it now to a 2-on-1. Last member here for FGCU. Currently working his way out, just spraying away, and finally he does find the kill. Now this is an AK that's completely ready to rock and roll. As there was no gunfight, and he wins that gunfight as well, and we'll see the defuse.
These are some really fast rounds coming out right now.
Yeah, well, that's what happens whenever you're hitting bomb sites quickly. And there's full commits too. We're not seeing what we were seeing before on Overpass, where you'd see a team hit a bomb site and then go backwards and rotate towards the other bomb site. We're seeing UTD straight at it, no questions asked. This is our bomb site. This is where we're going.
And it's proving to be successful as they are still on 9 rounds, as it's now the last round before the half, and it looks like once again they're trying to quickly make their way to Monster. There's going to be a smoke grenade to meet them there, and now they're pivoting to go towards Connector. Oh, that's a pick from Parker with that AWP, and they've slowed their roll for just the time being. As ASOS, he sees that Molotov, and he says, you know what, I'm going to forward off that. And he finds 1, and oh my gosh, he's going to do it again. He's not. Wad's going to take him down this time. They know 1 player is towards barrels. They have Molotovs in the hand if they want to try to get him out. They do, but they continue pushing forward into the bullets. So Adolfo's able to find one, and Sirtrix able to follow it up. And now it's left to Adolfo versus Parker and Faya. The AWP holding from Heaven, it seems. Yes, there he is, and that is the pick. 9-6 in favor of the UTD. A very fast round and a very fast half coming out here on Overpass. Corey, I think that has to be one of the fastest halves we've seen so far in this tournament.
That was pretty quick. I mean, we're definitely sub probably about 20 minutes since our game started a little bit later.
We decided to talk a lot today.
Well, we were waiting for FGCU to get their Faceit login.
That's what we'll say it was.
That's what it was.
Oh, it actually was?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Every time I looked at the screen, I saw them in the server.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Our conversation just feels so natural, Corey.
Yep. There's reasons why things happen, John. I'm all about getting into gameplay, so I'm not going to fill just to fill time. So, all right. So now they're heading here towards the A-bomb site on this pistol round. Let's see. There's the USPs coming out for your YKZ. See if you can continue with the pew pew strong, and both of those teammates go down at the exact same time. And that's going to be the round. UTD picking up the pistol round. So.
Yeah, they lost the last one, but they're able to take this one. And we saw, even with their backs against the wall and not winning the pistol, they were able to take the third round and I believe the fourth round. So now that we see them starting off with the money, this should be 11. And if FGCU is not able to get a 12, stop them from getting to 12, we might see a rocky road ahead of us. As we're looking over the B bomb site in mid there, we actually see no players on the side of FGCU as they look like to be going through the restrooms as they're going to be met by YKZ. Ooh, he's going to get caught with the Molotov in hand, but the pistol's not able to connect. However, the pistol from Greatness is able to find one. Alloy's getting confused, and he's finding himself in no man's land, so a little bit too far forward. Is going to give Greatness the gun here, and ooh, Sirtrix very quickly taking it out of his hands. It is all left to Faya now. They will no longer find any opponents, and that is going to be round number 11 on the board for UTD. Now this is the round that I was saying was the important one. If FGCU is able to get this, stop UTD from getting the 12, not only will they get to the money of UTD, but they can start getting some momentum into their favor. And we saw how much UTD was able to ride that wave towards the beginning. I believe it was 6 rounds in a row or 5 rounds in a row.
Yep.
5 rounds in a row. So
new note I've been keeping track of.
We'll have to see what a default looks like for FGCU, but this time we're seeing 3 players on that A-bomb site, and that's actually a pick on Eldafo towards that B, and that's actually another pick towards Connector. Now you see them saying, okay, well maybe he's opened up this B-bomb site as Alloy finds one, and that's Parker on A long. He's found 2, and we see 2 people rotating onto that B-bomb site. That is YKZ and ASOS. No surprise to see him on that site. We saw how comfortable he was on the T side. As we see all the players stacking up towards Monster now. There is 4 of them, including the bomb. Here they come. ASOS finding the first pick. Molotov going down. YKZ supporting him, and there's only one left, and that's Terror. He doesn't find him, and he finds the bomb, but he doesn't find the round, as that's now number 12 on the board here for FGCU. And Corey, I think that's something exactly that you talked about, was maybe sometimes over-rotating as we find those 2 first picks. But in this case, I think they had a good reason to do so, as Faya, as you just saw, finding 2 picks on that B bomb site. Felt the numbers were in their favor, but gave UTD too much time to allow some rotations to come over, and that is going to lead to a pistol round. 3 Deagles and 2 Tech 9s in the hands of FGCU. Looking to once again slowly make their way towards restrooms.
YKT playing close quarters combat here with that M4. As I believe that was Alloy, his teammate, is now going to backtrack. He's got some support already, though. And it is left up to these 3 members from Florida Gulf Coast University. See what they can be able to do is now you've got Parker, who's going to be lurking around now, seeing if he can find any openings over there towards the B bomb site for his teammates. He's making a lot of noise while he's doing it, and Adolfo actually spots him. Oh, and the challenge back. It's definitely an easier shot for the T to make because, of course, you're probably close to the board. And so that's where you saw, and of course the bullet tracing as well that's happening there too. And Terror picking up another one there. Close there for Fayez. Now it's left up to Sir Trix, the last man standing. 1-on-2 now. And you got Fayez close quarters, and you got Parker who's watching from bathrooms as here comes a flash over the top. There it goes, it pops, and does not do anything. That's Fire now 12-7. And that round just kind of spiraled out of control for UTD as they pushed into the bomb site. Terra had a nice good shot there as well. Yeah, now 12-7.
That was an eco round too, so where they were not able to find any success on the eco rounds, they find one here in the second half. They stop the bleeding for the time being as UTD's on pistols now. Let's see if they return the favor as they're sending 4 players towards connector. With ASOS being the lone representative on that B bomb site. They find Terror. Terror finds one, and he does not find more after that. Well, excuse me, he finds the second in YKZ. That is the AK retrieved here for Alloy. As FGCs recognize that they're in connector and makes their way quickly to that A bomb site. ASOS going to be on that rotation. The AK going down in the hands of Alloy as we see a Zeus come out for the first time today, and he actually spots a player. He's too far away to do anything with that for now. At least going to call it out, I suppose, so that's something for ASOS to work with. They're not going to butt heads. Is Faya. Didn't expect the player to be there. ASOS at this point potentially just looking for exits, and we see a lot of the players just running their way to the restrooms. So ASOS, nothing to find here, doesn't have a kit, can't go for a ninja defuse. Seeing if he can find any kills here, as all the players have retreated and are no longer on site. I think he might even try to tap the bomb just to be cheeky. He does not. Oh, but he finds one pick onto Greatness before being taken down to the bomb. So that is at least getting an AK out of the hands and forcing them to rebuy that. 8th on the board here for FGCU.
Looking at the current inventory here for UTD, they've got a full set except for Sir Trix and ASOS, currently with only a smoke and a flash. So now here comes the execute here towards the B bomb site. Parker's going to be watching the rotate though. He's there inside of connector, but Sir Trix is going to work now as they've held down the B bomb site, and it's left up to Wad and Parker. And again, Parker was over there towards connector. I think he was going to be watching for a rotate to happen. Wad does pick up the bomb though, and he's going to see if he has any conflict here. A minute 20 here in the round, and over the top, there it is, going to be Alloy. And Parker, the LMS, he's got it's a 1-on-3. This is going to be a tough one. There's a lot of time to play with, and there it is, Alloy picking up the last one. 13-8 now.
Calls out that he has the AWP, and Aldolfo's able to exchange that FAMAS out for that sniper. So that's a nice little upgrade, about a $2,500 upgrade. So if you are UTD, you're happy to see that. And we never saw the AWP come out for them on the T side, but here it is in the hands of Alloy. We'll see what he can do with it. A max 7 in the hands of Sir Trix. Playing aggressively towards Party now. Oh, he's going to see multiple. Yeah, he's going to hightail his way on out of there. Yeah. Keeping that gun protected.
Yeah, that's a fight that you can't win there. But, oh, man. I think just missing just high and right. As I don't think he actually even moved his crosshair to try to get to readjust for it, or at least to aim. He just mouse won. All right, you got one player that's inside of the A-bomb site. Actually got 2 players. Wow, they've got 3 players that are playing here inside of A right now. 2 over on the CT side of bathrooms. And the bomb is making its way over here. And Parker just checking all of his angles. Oh, there's the start there as he takes down Greatness. Now you know that Parker is going to try to avenge his teammate. But will he get the chance is a real question. And right now, Watt is going to cause this distraction here towards this bomb site, but they don't know there's actually 2 players that are still inside of A. And Adolfo watching over the top saying, I don't see anybody else. And so you're going to keep all of your teammates over there towards the A bomb site. Here comes the execute. Mollies are out, and Alloy's done one, and they just think the bomb site is clear, and it is not. As Terror is the last man standing, and that's going to finish the round. 14-8. Interesting tactic. They were trying to rely on Wad to be a distraction or at least cause enough damage to pull players. And Adolfo was the only one to rotate, but of course 3 minus 1 is still 2, and they held down the bomb site together with Adolfo on the rotate, 14-8.
As we look at the scoreboard here, ASOS still leading the server for his squad. As now we're on board with the AWP of Alloy, missing again, but at least getting the information as they're going to push on forward with these pistols. We see one AK in the hands of Faya. Aside from that, they're just going to hold down W, get to this A bomb site as fast as they can. Alloy's finding himself in no man's land. And Greatness finding 2 great shots there with the Deagle. That's actually going to open up the site and put themselves in a 4v2 situation. Haven't gotten the bomb down yet, and ooh, Greatness finding another pick through the smoke there. He's come alive this round. Having a slow game to start, but has opened up this round number 23 for his team, and now Wad's going to find a pick onto Sir Trix. As that closes out, round number 23 in favor of FGCU, still 14-9 in favor of UTD. But that's going to mean pistols to come out, and that's the first shot there from Sir Greatness, as now he finds Alloy because he misses the shot and able to get the AWP. And then shoots Adolfo through the smoke. This could be the start of something here, Corey, as we see the pistols coming out for the side of UTD. And FGCU, they've won their own eco round, so we can't put it out of the realm of possibility here for UTD.
Yeah,
Once
right.
again, we see 3 players at connector.
Yep, they're out of position right now, and right now Faya is just going to. I picked up 2 of them, and it looks like Greatness was able to exchange there and get that trade. So you've got a. Let's see where he's playing at. 9, Sir Trix is got the Zeus. ASOS had to win that fight. He had to. If he didn't, then they would be rotating towards the B-bomb site right now. And this actually leaves Sir Trix in a really unique spot. He's by truck right now, and he's got himself a taser. He's probably going to wait out. He's probably even going to allow them to get the bomb planted. He's letting them come into the bomb site. He's got this taser, and there it is. Perfect action there. Taking down 1, picks up the second. Great play by Sir Trix right now, and he's got the up in hand. Can he do it? And he does. 15-9. Great play coming in. He fully committed to it. He was waiting for the bomb to get planted, and then there you have it. That's how deadly that tase can be in rounds like that.
And he had, I've never seen a more perfect position to be in. Because he saw, if that taser was any stronger, it could have gone through 2 players there, Corey. And that's why it only has 1 charge in there.
Yeah, I love the tase, but one of the things is he played that extremely well. You know that one player is going to try to go through the truck. He lucked out that the bomb planted there. There's no question. He lucked out that the bomb decided to plant there, but he played it extremely well, waiting for the bomb to get planted, and then he was able to execute. And the AWPer, being Parker, was going, "Where are you? Why are you here?" And more importantly, when you hear that zap, you're like, "Oh gosh, what's going to happen next?" As right now we're at game point, it is left up to our last one being Parker, as he peeks out there, and he will get dropped 16-9 coming in here for UTD. Wow, that was a fun way to end it. I enjoyed it.
Yep, the Zeus is what? It's your 3rd favorite because you have Scout, Knife, and then Zeus? Is that correct?
I don't know. It's a mix. I think Knife is probably my 3rd favorite, and then Scout is up there. So Scout, Tase, and then a Knife.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the other way around. Okay, well, look at that, Corey. We've got it. That series is the one that definitely gave us some things that we thought we had never seen this tournament so far. We have seen the Zeus. We've seen the kills come out from that. We discussed that. We even had our own audio sounds to go with that. We saw that on Dust too.
Yep.
And then we saw a Team Ace in that very first round.
First
Unfortunately, that was on the side of FGCU, who will now be finding their way through the lower bracket as UTD will move on onto that top side. And as we kind of called it out, they were the number 6 seed, as FGCU is the number 25 seed. And I think the biggest thing there is that FGCU had a great-looking T side. It's just that they were not able to stop that of the T side of UTD.
Right. Now, I was just kind of watching how UTD started to really warm up. I mean, you saw ASOS at the very beginning of the game. He was making some awesome shots, starting up taking over the B bomb site time and time again. He almost got himself an ace to start off the round. So there you have it, 16-9 in favor of UTD. We'll see them in the upper bracket finals of this Group H, and we'll see if they can continue to advance all the way through, just like all of the other number 1 seeds have done in their groups. They've advanced pretty relatively easy There's only been one close game, and it was 16-14, and it shouldn't have been that either. So we'll see what comes up after this. But we've got Kansas State. They'll be facing off against UTA. They'll be coming up here shortly. Once we get the teams in play, we basically try to stay true to the times that we've got in front of us. That's supposed to be 1 p.m. Central. That's about 9 minutes away, 8 minutes away from now. So we'll let the players get into the server, let them get into Discord, and do all our due diligence before we start the matchup. So stick around. We'll find out what the map pick bands are going to be. We'll introduce the teams, the rosters, right here from Esports Stadium, Arlington.